What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome back to Forza Horizon 5. We are here with another seasonal championship. Inspiration from Japan. And we are driving the 2013 Toyota GT86. And the requirement is a C-Class car from Toyota. So you can use any Toyota that you want. It just has to be in the C class, so between 501 and 600 rating. You can use Toyotas that are below that rating and tune them into the C class. The share code for this tune that we are using today is, as always, in the description. And I just hope we can do a good job here. Sorry. Not entirely healthy again, but healthy enough to record this. Or so I hope. Obviously dirt championships are a lot harder than road championships. This tune actually works for both. So it's not a specific dirt tune. I think the C class is slow enough that you don't need to bother with off-road tires and such, so card photograph. No, don't do it. I completed something apparently. I'm trying to go past here. And also these bigger cars, yeah, they're good off-roaders, but this is not cross-country, where you could make an argument that real off-roading would be needed, and B, again, C-Class isn't fast enough where I would really worry about that. As you can see, it's the lighter cars here at the front. And also these dirt roads, now obviously it's not that bad to drive them on. It's really good here to delay the braking into that corner, because you have the water that you will drive through. Obviously you will have to brake, but you can do it later in the AI. And that is what put us into first. Obviously you can cut these checkpoints. It always helps a little bit because the AI drives fairly conservative lines around them. We're a bit fast here, but took us a little bit out of the corner. Out of the ideal line that I would have wanted to take. We have a lead. It's not a big lead, it's not yet a comfortable lead, but we have a lead. And I'm fine with that as is. We obviously also have road sections here in the race, which is certainly beneficial over these heavier cars. Which really only if they have an advantage, it's off-road. And it's not off-roady enough in regular dirt races that they really have an advantage. So I am certainly for the lighter options, lighter cars. It's possible we have to use some defensive measures here. Although I am not entirely sure that is going to be the case. Now we obviously break into the water. Going into that pretty quick, holding the speed through, and that increased the gap a little bit. Here I like to drift through a little bit, but it is obviously risky. If you get it wrong, you might miss the checkpoint. So caution there. That would work better than last lap. Our lap times are obviously not comparable because the first lap was a standing start. As we are about to finish lap number 2. I've used this car in the C-Class before in one of my videos, but I don't remember which one it was. Or if it was just for a challenge or something, I don't recall. But I had a different tune back then, and I had a different design. Yeah, now our lead is pretty comfortable. So now we can really take less risk into these corners, and that should make us a little bit safer. Although I am not a fan of driving it safe. I mentioned that in a video, I don't know, in the past. I feel like sometimes when you're doing it a little bit more conservatively and you don't take certain risks and you don't drive your natural style, you might be more prone to mistakes than if you just floor it and try to go fast. But obviously, especially when it comes to the corner or the checkpoint cutting, where you just brush the checkpoint flags, you really don't need to take those risks when you're up like that. I would even argue you normally don't really have to take those risks unless you struggle moving up the order, and it obviously makes sense to abuse that, or to use that. I can debate whether that's an abuse. You can see some of the guys are now posting 130 and 139. Just to catch up and get the field back together. So the fastest lap times in the end, they just don't matter. The back markers will close the gap, and then you really don't have much of a comparison. Another one? Yeah, we could have used the Supra, couldn't we? See a picture there on the main screen. I like the Supra, but I also like this one, so. Plus my Supra has an S1 class tune and I don't want to mess around with it, so. That's another hindrance. Plus with GT86, it's sorta cheap. The tune isn't that expensive. It just all works out. So that's race number 3? 2? I think 2. I think the first one just took forever. But I think this is the second race now. Let's go past on the inside here. Switch to the inside here. We can hold it through. I don't know why he opened the line like that. He could have easily held against us. You probably would have gone past, but there was no reason to compromise the own line like that. He almost fell to the back there. But yeah, as you can see, it's just a tune in the C-Class that is really good at dirt racing and... Goodbye. Good at dirt racing and good at road racing. So you can use it for both, it doesn't really matter. And obviously that works well for dirt races because they have the dirt paths, but they also have the road paths. Let's line up an overtake here. Maybe into this corner. Not yet. Still not. We're a bit too far away for this corner. Now need a good exit, and I think now we can make it work at the end of the long straight. The amount of water on this makes the bigger cars pretty good in this race. Oh, we still can't make it work, but we closed up right into him, and now we put our car right beside him and puts us into first. Just shoot the gap here before he goes in. Yes, that puts us into the wall, but better than being overtaken into the corner. And now we can drive it home again. There we go. That's a full throttle here, especially thanks to the water. Obviously, like I said, the bigger cars have an advantage there because the water doesn't slow them down as much, but it's such a small portion of the race that it really doesn't matter too much. Oh, he could actually come up as second. These water bits. Race for second certainly close. First is probably decided here. Fourth seems to be decided as well. That seems to be one lonely guy. And then the pack in the end, as you can see on the map. Hey, it did take second. These water sections certainly help that kind of car. But we're doing well for ourselves, so I doubt we have to worry. Oh, it certainly helps what a good bit here is on tarmac, so that could put us into a wall again. Had to brake a second time, which I didn't want to do, but better than hitting the wall again. It would have just looked bad. Alright, let's go. Oops. Should end up in a decent spot. I mean, we will have 40 points after this race. It always puts you in a decent spot. And depending on the second place finisher, it can put you in a pretty decisive spot already. We really don't have to do a whole lot to win. This one is pretty bad, it slows you down a lot. So I can certainly see how that overtake there happened ahead of that corner. There we go, that's a new best lap. But obviously these other guys will close in and post new best laps, so that is the thing. Yeah, see how they all just drive together now. Yeah, 142s now. Actually kinda... Nope, they were still slower than us. Alright. It's pretty good, pretty good. Third race. There it is. There we go. Is that a sprint or a... I think Scramble is the sprint version? Actually, it might be the circuit version instead. I have no idea. We'll see in a moment. I didn't check before. Come on, come on, come on. Obviously we want to continue. There we go. So if you are interested in faster loading times in these videos, then feel free to Help me buy a new PC, eh? I'm just joking, but yeah, that's probably the only way. We saw a gap there to take the inside line on that fat guy, so... Is it okay to call a car fat? Or is that also body shaming? I think that's okay, right? With cars it's okay. Well, if not, someone will maybe tell me, I don't know. Or probably not. The joys of being not that big. As far as channel size, that is. Come on. Need to get past him. Yeah, it's 3 laps, so scramble is the circuit thing. Wonder what the sprint thing is called. Trail! I think trail. Or is that... No, I think it's trail. I'm not 100% sure if that's the dirt version or the cross-country version, but I think it's the dirt version. Old switcheroo maneuver, going past him. The landscape up here is so pretty, or down here I should say. We were driving upwards, so... That's what I said. But yeah, the landscape here is really pretty. Really like it. That puts us into first. That should end lap number 1, and now we can probably, yeah, we have a big lead already. Bigger amount of actual roads and not as much water means we are in a better position relative to the P2 car, which is a lot bigger. Has a lot more weight. I mean, we have some water here, but overall it's not a whole lot. Especially this sequence here into the forest or the jungle bit. I think it's, no, that's more like forest, right? Both, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I think that's like driving up here is really pretty, and under the bridge as well. And then into this area with the hills and the trees. Really pretty to drive through. You can pretty much full throttle that sequence. I mean, here you have to brake, but that sequence before. The AI will slow down massively for those corners, and that one puts you into a pretty big advantage, and it'll help you get quite a good lead here. 2 laps down, still in first. I was checking the times, I didn't look at the road here. That was my bad. That was certainly my bad. Now the water bit again. I'm already driving through the bit where it's not as big, the puddle. Like not the middle where it's most water, and it's the deepest as well. But just towards the side there is a little bit less. You don't need to travel through it as far and not as deep. So that can certainly help if you are struggling. Here. That is race 2, right? I keep confusing things. There we go. The fun thing is C-Class is, for a game perspective, pretty slow, but that also means they are very controllable. You can throw them around a lot in whichever way that you like, and it just stays controllable. So there certainly is a certain amount of fun is there to C-Class. There we go, we are now at... No, we're at 60 points, so that was race 3. I'm confused today. Still not healthy, eh? Oh well. We won, that's all that counts. 1969 2000 GT. Hey, we finish on a wheel spin again. As we always do. One day we'll win something big. I mean, that's not terrible, but... Oh well, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. And until next time, farewell.